Nice to meet you, David. We haven't seen us
Yeah.
for a long time, and obviously haven't met in person. That's a shame, really. I started, or I want to start this YouTube channel, and I will call it "The World in the Pocket," in my pocket. And I will speak to international people, and I want to start with you. So I'm sitting here in Woodford Green in Essex. You in Sutton, Valence and Kent. So actually we are very close.
Very cool.
Very close, yeah. I had the honor to work with you. It is nearly already 10 years ago. Can you believe it? At the London Olympics 2012. So you are a judo photographer. Very interesting job, and yeah, how did it come that you started to photograph judo? Was judo first or was photographing first?
No, judo was first, and then when I was in a competition and got beaten, I'd sit at the side of the mat taking pictures. And then the magazine, the Orange Judo magazine in the UK, back in the early 70s, needed some pictures, so I sent them, and then I started carrying on from then on. More interested in making sure that I was spreading judo as best I could.
Okay, but were you yourself as a judoka successful?
Oh yeah.
Did
well,
you
not
sometimes couldn't you not photograph because you were winning?
No, that's right. So, but I used to teach judo at two schools in the mid-70s.
Okay.
Sedge Hill School in South East London and Durham Hill School for a couple of years on that, which was quite enjoyable. The kids loved it.
Yeah, it was, as far as I know, judo was a part of the PE curriculum for a while, wasn't it?
It was in London. In the London, the gentleman in charge used to belong to the Budokwai, and that's why it was in the curriculum for London during the mid-70s.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, in places like France and Germany, it's in the curriculum all the time. They're very successful countries.
Yeah, and in Russia as well. So you named the Budokwai judo club in Kensington, as far as I know. A very traditional one, the oldest in the UK, or at least in London. It was your home club?
It's still my club, not that I practice there anymore. But yes, it's the oldest in Europe, one of the oldest in the world. Okay. And it started the European Judo Union and initiated the IJF back in 1951.
So, and then you very soon, as I understand, you got into international judo, at least as a photographer. 10 Olympics you photographed?
That's right. 10 Olympics, yes.
Amazing. So when were your first Olympics?
1980 in Moscow.
Wow, that was the ones where nobody was coming from the West.
Well, that's right. Some people boycotted it, like the USA.
Yes.
Because obviously there were problems with Afghanistan, etc.
Yes. Were the Brits in there?
Yes, the Brits were there.
Okay.
French, Angelo Parisi, who used to train at the Budokai before he became a Frenchman. He was there and won a gold medal and a silver medal. On that.
So interesting. The London.
And Neil Adams won a silver medal.
Yeah, I know him. When I was an active judoka in Germany, he came to our club, and in the club started Klaus Klan. You probably know him.
Oh, yes, indeed.
You know him in person?
Yes, I've taken lots of pictures of him. 1973, 1975, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he started in the Turner Bund Stöcken. That was my club. Interesting. Yeah, you obviously have a very good relationship to British judokas, but then I would say the Germans, you know very well as well, and
Yes.
photographed them as well.
Yes, that's right. Well, I've always contributed to the German Judo magazine for nearly 40 years now, and that started because there was a gentleman training at the Budokwai who worked in London. He was German, and he went back to Germany, and then from there I met Ulrich Glocker, who then he was a well-renowned coach in Germany.
Yes, yes,
and,
I have some books from him.
That's right. From then on, I met the German editor, and Klaus Beißen, I think it was. And then we did the magazine, regularly contributed to the magazine.
Yeah, they are now online, as I guess. Do they?
They do publish the books online, the magazine's online. If you have to sign up to be a member.
So it is pretty difficult, I would say, to photograph judo, or would you say it?
There's a lot of luck involved, because obviously they face many different directions all the time, and so it's you get the throws, but you don't get the faces in the throws sometimes.
Yeah.
And obviously it's nice to have people looking or to see the face so that you can recognize them. When they throw the other way, you just get backsides.
Yeah. And you don't know who will do what, and it can be very quick.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And when did they introduce the white and blue judogis? I still remember that we had only white judogis, and then it must be really difficult to understand.
Yes. The original Japanese system of white judogis is still practiced in Japan. When they have their competitions, they still have white, red and white belts and that sort of thing. Whereas over here, back probably 15, 20 years ago, they decided that to keep it more interesting for non-judoka to follow on the television and videos, to have two different judogi. And originally they tried it with gi-sink, with gi-sink and a Japanese in red and white, but then they changed it to white and blue. It's shown on the French magazine. The front cover was in red and white with gi-sink and Okano, I think it was.
Is it easier than for you now to photograph them on international tournaments?
Definitely, it's better for photographing to recognize the people and their judogi and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, and you said you started in the late 19th, no, in the 17th, but not only judo changed a lot, but photographing as well. Is it now easier to photograph judo because of digital photographing, or you would say, you know what, I prefer how it was then?
No, it definitely is much easier with digital. It's quicker. You have the immediate results on the camera. When I was doing it with film, it was very, very long. You know, you took pictures and you sent them to the magazine a week later. Now, when I send to Getty, they have to be there within 12 hours from the finish of the competition on the live ones. And then I follow up sometimes with those that I go through later.
Yeah.
But the digital is much more effective, definitely.
So you mainly work now for Getty?
Yes. Yes.
And is this a good job to have? I mean,
very much so. Yes. Every month they sell hundreds of my pictures, but obviously some of them are very low prices.
Yeah.
And they have control over the usage of the pictures,
Okay.
which is very important.
Okay, I see. Do you have a particular judoka you would say, that's my favorite, or she's my favorite one, from her or she, his techniques, from photographing her or him?
Well, it's very difficult because there's hundreds, thousands of judoka over the past 50 odd years, or whatever.
But you know them all. I know you told me so many background stories about them. I was astonished what you all knew about them.
Well, one of my favorites, obviously, is Yamashita, who trained who taught at the Budokwai.
Yeah.
In 1986, and another one, of course, was Inui. He was at the Budokwai for a year. Excellent, very good Uchimata and that sort of thing. And then from women, there would be Ingrid Bergmans.
Okay.
She was excellent. And Kate Howie in Britain. Karen Briggs. Jane Bridge, these were all very good in the non-digital age. So pictures were difficult, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you traveled a lot, obviously. Have you been in Tokyo to the last Olympics?
No, unfortunately. I think it was my baby face that stopped me getting accreditation.
A shame. Because Tokyo, Japan, the birth country of judo, would be nice.
Well, I was there for the 2019 World Championships. Which were very good.
Yeah. What was your most interesting international tournament you have been?
Well, probably the London 2012 Olympics is obviously very high because it was at home here in London, so it's really good on that. But I've been to so many competitions. Probably the most enjoyable has always been the French Tournée de Paris. Every year in January and February, I've been to every one. In fact, I did pictures for their 50th anniversary book, which comes out at Christmas on that. So I've been to, I think, every one, apart from one or two that I missed. The first one was in 1971, and I wasn't there. And then in 1974, I went there because Angelo Parisi was from my judo club, was going there. He won a bronze medal because he also won an Olympic bronze medal in 1972. And so that's when I got involved with the French Paris tournament, which is very good.
You have been a lot in Eastern Europe as well, in Russia, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Minsk for the Belarus sort of thing. Rostock for the Europeans, Austria, Vienna, World Championships.
Did you had as well time to see anything else than the tatamis?
No, because the thing is that when I was coming back from doing the pictures on film, I would develop them in the hotel, in the bath, and then obviously try to make sure that when I got back, I could send the pictures to the magazines.
Yeah. So nothing like doing sightseeing in Paris or going to the Red Square in Moscow. That wasn't possible.
I went to Red Square in Moscow, yes.
Okay.
Because I've been to Moscow. I went to Moscow in 1971 with my wife.
Oh, okay. That was
we went on holiday there.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, very, very interesting. Where are you up to next? What is your next judo?
Well, hopefully Paris, if it goes ahead. Paris was in October because it was delayed because of the COVID.
Yeah.
And then Dusseldorf, in both of those would be in February next year if they go ahead during that time.
Mm. Okay.
Pleasing.
Good. Yeah, I strongly think we should do something together again. I obviously look into Russia, and I look into a particular person you might know, and we met him. We met him far away then in 2012, but he came to the Olympics. The Russian president Putin, who is a judoka. I think we should put some input into it, and why not writing and asking. At least I haven't seen any interviews done with him on the tatami, so he can throw me. I'm happy if he throws me, but after every throw I ask him a question that could, and you can photograph. What do you think?
Do that, yes.
Yeah.
Especially when you throw him.
Oh, I don't.
Very important.
If it's. Yeah, and also he's a German speaker, so we might find even more in common than only judo. But yeah, it's I think I can then not exclude political questions as well. Okay, David, that was really great to see you here. It worked well, and hopefully we will see us soon in real life, and best of all, close to tatami.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.